Come on, y'all. Welcome, man. Welcome to every single one of you MFers, man. We here in the building. We here in the building for the day. Y'all know what time it is, man. Ed Reed Jersey, man. Ed Reed Jersey. My coffee ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I want y'all to come in, rock with me, smash that like button, man. Smash that like button as you come in, like the stream as y'all pull up. I want the chat active, man. I want the chat active. We on episode 99, bruh. This is the big broadcast, man. This is my podcast I've been doing since when? Let me be real with you. When did I start doing the podcast? I think it was February. All right. Milestone episode 100 coming up very, very soon. But I decided to almost fuse, unconfuse, and make today, a football based podcast. All right, we're talking ball. We're talking ball for the entire stream. Major reason being that we got one of the biggest matchups in football. And by the way, people are hearing this. This is the morning of January 19th. We were filming January 19th, 25, man. 25, big 2-5. Everybody who's listening on audio, please give your boy 5 stars. I'm going to release this podcast on all podcasting platforms. This stream will obviously be available on YouTube. If y'all get the chance, show some love, 5 star on podcasting platforms, and give your boy, of course, that like if you're coming in on the YouTube platform, man. I'm so thankful. My hair looking crazy. I need to go see my barber. I need to stop playing. You know what I mean? But I appreciate everybody who spends the time to come rock with your boy, come rock with us, come rock with what we doing, what I'm doing. You know what I mean? We having fun out here. We having fun. We enjoying life. And the fact remains is we're about to have tonight one of the biggest matchups in football in a very, very long time, man. In a very, very long time. And that is evidently, obviously, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna do no intro music. I'm not even gonna warm y'all up. We're just gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. Because what's the point? We don't have time to play games. We got to talk about the fact that we're going to experience what people are calling the MVP race. It's not about the MVP. This is not about the MVP at all. Because I'm going to make it very clear. The person who's going to win MVP is going to be Lamar Jackson, right? But does it matter? Not really. Not really. Because what's going to happen is today, one of these two individuals, one of these two guys, is going to go to what I hate to call it what it is, but it's the Arrowhead Invitational, y'all. And I took that from Nick Wright, even though he is Nick wrong a lot of the times. But he's absolutely right. It's the Arrowhead Invitational, man. Let me make this perfectly clear. We're gonna go off. I'm gonna talk about two of the games. All right, we're gonna talk about two of the games. We're gonna talk about what happened yesterday. We're gonna talk about this mother effer, man, and he's gonna be on your screen right now. And I call him a gay frog, homosexual frog. Get in the chat. This guy's a homosexual frog. It is what it is. I call him a spawn of Satan. He's one of, you know, the devil's strongest soldiers. That's what he is. You know what I mean? He is the white Jayden Daniels. Yes, he's the Yes, man. When you wake up in the morning, right? And let's say you had a horrible nightmare and you seen like the boogeyman or some kind of crazy creature of the night, you know what I mean, while you were sleeping, it's this guy. Some may say in Slavic myths, Baba Yaga, you know what I mean? Some might have some mythologies of some messed up creature that haunts you in the night. Yes, his name is Patrick Mahomes. And in the football context, this is the creature, this is the demonic entity that that has been destroying football lives for about 7 years. If you're in the AFC, you are cordially invited for the past 7 damn seasons. This is 7, y'all. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. F the Chiefs. F the Chiefs, man. F them. The fact remains is that even out of that 7, he was able to get 3 of them things. That's really good. That's really good. And he was able to go there 4 times. 4 times, y'all. This is crazy. And let me tell you this, the 7th is yet to be decided. Well, 7 right here. It's yet to be decided. So out of 6 times in the past that he made it to the AFC Championship game, he was able to get 3 chips, right, and get to the Super Bowl 4 times. Only 2 teams have ever stopped Mahomes. Right. And I'm gonna say this just to start it. Obviously, if you don't get that I'm making jokes and I'm being facetious and humorous and trying to bring some levity in your life, you're a loser. I don't understand you. But I also have to make some jokes and have some fun because I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. And this man is responsible for breaking my soul last year and breaking my heart. He is demonic. And the thing that makes him demonic is that he achieves things that are not human for the dark forces of Lucifer, right? And why do I say the dark forces of Lucifer? Because he's not from God. It is what it is. And I'm talking about that on this Sunday morning. You know what I mean? The fact remains, this dude is a beast, man. Is a beast. Now, he's even more of a beast when he's combined with the refs. What am I talking about? There were a few plays last night, and I don't know if I'm even allowed to show it on the streams, right? But the fact remains is the entire NFL world, right? The entire sporting world. Well, let's say football world saw what happened last night, and let's talk about it. You know what I mean? The Texans faced off versus the Chiefs yesterday. Score of 23-14. If any of you guys took the point spread, and I think at some point it was at 9, I feel bad for you, bro. Especially that safety that was taken at the very end of the game. What happened yesterday was a team that should have won going into halftime. It was a pretty tight game. You know what I mean? Going into halftime, it was 6 to, I believe, 14, right? 6 to 13, if I'm not mistaken. And the game was in range, specifically for the Houston Texans, right? That very first kickoff to start off the game, where the special teams, let me tell you what happened. What really happened is the special teams in the O-line of the Houston Texans lost this game. But when you put the spawn of Satan with the ref's assistance, that's where you have a combination that is hard to miss. Let me tell you something, man. Roughing the passer, 15 yards automatic first down. Those two roughing the passer calls didn't help either. Now, let me tell you how the blame pie goes. Okay? The number one blame pie, I think, is the Houston Texans special teams. Right? If Fairbanks actually made, let's say, 2 field goals, this is a closer game, right? He didn't, they lost. Number 2, I say the Houston special teams. But first was the special teams, my mistake. Number 2 would be the offensive line. 8 sacks, man. 8 sacks. And Houston had this issue A lot in the game. Now, look, if we look at the player stats, right? If y'all watching the screen with me, look at the player stats. Look at what this guy was able to do. Karlaftis, George Karlaftis of the Chiefs had a game, a legacy game, all right? What he was able to do to that Houston O line, and it wasn't just the O line, it was also Dalton Schultz, Ogumba Wale. I think that's the running back for Houston Texans. What he was able to do to those guys was absolutely criminal. Karlaftis ended up, if you look down here, with 3 sacks. For like at least 2 of them were just him doing the bull rush. It wasn't even no fancy spin technique, no shedding, no nothing crazy, nothing out of the pocket. Bro just came in with full power and speed, right? To the point where no plays got a chance to develop because CJ Stroud was getting a MF in his face at all times, right? You had corners coming for the corner blitz. Shamari Connor. I think that he's a DB. You know what I mean? You had other people on the D line going crazy. I don't even know if Chris Jones even really got a sack. Yes, he did. Of course he did. 8 sacks. Everybody ate. Tarshawn Watson, man. And guess what? So another person who really played really well was Justin Reed. That blocked field goal in the fourth set everything up. I'm telling you right now, what happens is Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are like a boa constrictor, man. Let me show y'all what a boa constrictor is. And get in the chat if y'all got any thoughts. A boa constrictor. Let me show y'all what it is. For people listening on the audio only, it's a snake. It's a type of snake. Okay? And the thing about a boa constrictor, right, is that once it has you in its grasps and it starts to contract, it's literally constrict. It's literally in the name of the snake. Once it starts to constrict you, and once it gets you in its britches, bruh, it starts to contract. You dead. You're dead. And we've seen this with the Chiefs throughout the whole season. And I'm not here to, you know what I mean? Of course I'm gonna hate, but I'm also gonna show a level of respect because guess what? This is what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to constrict your opposition. And let me tell you something, man. When I was, I think maybe in like grade 3, grade 4, something like that, they brought this in our schools, and bruh, it freaked the hell out of me, man. I am not a fan of snakes. That's something that y'all gotta know about me. If I'm not a fan of snakes, I don't do snakes, I don't do none of that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show y'all a video here of a boa constrictor. Crazy. Look at this. Look at this mouthful, man. Big. But let me tell you something, man. If the boa constrictor put himself let me tell you something. It is such a strong snake, y'all, that if this constrictor went anywhere around this fat, puffy looking mouthful, right? It would literally squeeze him to death. It would squeeze him to death. Bro would not survive. Bro, it's over. It's over. Right? And boas are so big and they can eat massive sized people, animals, all type of ish, right? And that's who the Chiefs are, right? And what happened is the Houston Texans. So we talked about the special teams. That's what they lost. We talked about obviously the offensive line. That's what they lost. And number 3, I'm gonna say it. I don't care. It's the refs. It's the refs, man. The refs have become so blatant with the Chiefs bias and the Patrick Mahomes derided that it takes away certain parts of the game, right? Certain parts of the game. So what am I talking about? If that first call on Will Anderson Jr., if that didn't go, then I believe the Chiefs would have been on the critical third down and late or something like that, and they wouldn't have been able to get that field goal in the first quarter. right? Now think about it like this. If they didn't call that fake phantom roughing the passer in the fourth quarter, when the Chiefs are going on like a 6-minute drive or something like that, the drive goes down on third down and it's third and like probably 10 or maybe because it would have been just ball down, whatever. He would have counted probably as a sack. At that point, Mahomes would be at like third and 12, third and 13, and the ball wasn't going to the receivers. Excuse me. The ball was going to Travis Kelce. Now, is it possible that Travis Kelce would have came clutch on a third and 12? Absolutely, because Kelce was killing the game. Kelce had a fantastic game, and they had no answers for him. The issue is if it's a third and 10, it's different from a first down. And guess what? They probably wouldn't have scored over there. It would have been a 12, a 13-12 type of game. And let's go back to the first thing, special teams. Let me tell you something about football, man. Football is a game of all three phases. All three phases, y'all. All three phases. And that's going to really, you know, expand on my commentary. This individual, Fairbanks, right? Kamai Fairbanks of the Houston Texans, he was one of the reasons the special teams didn't go, man. The misses he was having, right? After the Texans scored that touchdown from that borderline 8-minute drive where they took over the whole third quarter, CJ knew it, D'Amico Ryans knew it. Everyone pretty much knew that was the momentum shifter, man. The momentum has shifted because you know they knew that every possession counted. They knew. They knew because what you have to do, you have to know that when you're playing the Chiefs, you're not playing the Chiefs. You're playing against the refs as well, man. And D'Amico Ryans had something to say about that, man.
Right? When we knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. Right? When I say everybody, is everybody, all the whatever, everybody, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody.
Hey, that's the facts. When you are playing the Chiefs, you are not playing just the Chiefs, y'all. You are playing against the MFN refs. You're playing against everybody. You're playing against this individual. And I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at your screen, I have Taylor Swift up there because guess what? They want the money. The NFL does not want to have this girl crying about her boyfriend losing in their fake relationship. It is all by design and all by plan. But let me tell you this, Texans, you don't do yourselves any favor by missing field goals. You don't do yourself any favor by letting CJ Stroud get hit every 3 seconds, even less than 3 seconds, by not blocking enough and giving him time to develop. Let me tell you something about the Houston Texans. They have to fix that online. And let me tell you something about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to shake it off because they have an undue advantage. They're playing an Arrowhead. They're playing an Arrowhead. And the key to beating the Chiefs is not understanding that you just have to beat the Chiefs. You have to stomp them out. Right. And I'm talking about this because when you have somebody like Patrick Mahomes, Mahomes does not need to have a big game. He does not need to have a big game. Let me look at the stats that Patrick Mahomes had. I believe he even had less than 200 yards. I'm not something around the 200-yard mark, maybe less. 2 touchdowns. Yes, I'm correct. Actually, I'm absolutely correct. Look at this. He had 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 16 for 25. That's not stat stuffing, man. It's not stat stuffing. Kareem Hunt, fantastic game. And I'm telling you right now, I love seeing Kareem Hunt play for the Chiefs because this is kind of a redemption story. I believe it was 2018 or 2019 that the Chiefs got their first Super Bowl run. And he wasn't there because he got cut in 2018. I think that was BS. I didn't so much care for it. Was it what he did wrong? Yes, but was it, a fireable offense? I don't think so. I think because the NFL had so many domestic violence incidences going back to the Ray Rice era, I mean, that I'm talking about Roger Goodell, decided to overstep, over punish, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. The fact remains is the Chiefs don't have to have a big offensive game to win, man. They do not. They do not. They put up 23 points, bro. They put up 20. They gave the Texans literally 2 points. They gave them 2 points. They don't have to win. And look at the box score. Namely, look at the fourth quarter, man. Games are decided in the fourth quarter, and guess what? Chiefs are proving more than anybody in any time in history right now that defense does win championships. All right, I'm gonna give a lot of credit, a lot of credit to this individual right here, man. This individual who's gonna be on your screen in a bit is a massive reason in the past 2 seasons. I would even go say 3 seasons. The past 3 seasons, the Chiefs won their last 2 rings because of this guy. Because of the schemes and the play calling that he's had. He's been absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, we're in such a huge quarterback driven league that we forget that individuals like this are a huge part of why teams win, bro. Huge part. Because without Steve Spagnuolo calling the blitz in the fourth quarter and at least showing blitz to the line of scrimmage on CJ Stroud, then CJ wouldn't have been able to be so lost and confused and dismayed that it changed the entire game. But it wrecked it because there was like 3 drives where CJ Stroud could have went down the field and scored, but those were stopped in their tracks, right? But because the league is pushing quarterbacks and protecting quarterbacks to such a high level, guys like this don't get the proper respect. And another person who I think deserves a lot of respect is Chris Jones. Chris Jones is such an imposing presence on the field, y'all. He's so disruptive. He is the massive reason that the Chiefs have won their last 2 rings in a row. Massive reason. Right? I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes, but if he doesn't have guys like this, he's not a champion. He's not a champion, man. He's not a champion. And that's the thing. When they lost Tyreek Hill, the identity had to change. The identity of the football team had to change. This is a defensive football team. Keep in mind, look at the score, y'all. Look at the score, right? Look at the score. What happened? The score of what happened was the Houston Texans could not score more than 12 points. Why? Because of the guy on your screen. And let me tell you something. When I say that Lamar versus Josh Allen is not about the MVP, it's about Patrick Mahomes. Why is it about Patrick Mahomes? Because you have to understand whoever wins that matchup between Lamar and Josh Allen, one of these two is going to go into Kansas City, into Arrowhead Stadium, and they're going to have to score 30 points. I'm not talking about 31, no, 35 at the bottom level. Yes, 35. That's why this matchup is not even about them. It's not about them. Smash that like button, man. Support your boy. It's not about these two guys. Now, if we're being stupid, we already know who should win the MVP. We already know who should win. Like I don't like look at this. We already know who should win the MVP. We already know who got NFL All Pro first team. We already know. We already know. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I don't understand this argument Okay, like I can kind of understand it. I can kind of get it that Josh Allen should be the MVP. It's because low expectations, right? And it's a sympathy MVP, right? A sympathy MVP. Why? Because Josh Allen has objectively had a worse football team. A worse football team. Way worse, right? And because the team is worse, it makes what he's doing look a lot better. I believe also those two wins versus the Chiefs and the Lions, I believe those are massive because without them, Josh Allen really has no case. Stats are way better on Lamar's side. And the thing is, if you look at the history of the NFL, right? We're looking here in front of your screen at the NFL first team selection by, I believe this is by the Associated Press or um, all this. This was, so let's read this article from the NFL.com and then we're going to get to it. Lamar Jackson beat out Josh Allen, and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are unanimous choices for the Associated Press's 2024 NFL All Pro team. Saquon Barkley received 48 of 51st place votes, and Patrick Surtain got 49 from a nationwide panel of media members who regularly cover the league. Mm, wow, that's crazy. That's respect right there. That's love. Jefferson said of his unanimous selection and second overall. Jackson received 31st place votes to Allen's 18, making the team for the second straight year and third overall. Peyton Manning, 7, and Aaron Rodgers, 4, are the only quarterbacks with more All Pro nominations in the Super Bowl era than Jackson. This is why I already said it. I've said it a few times over here. Lamar Jackson is a Hall of Fame quarterback. There's about 3 or 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the league right now. Patrick Mahomes, first ballot. Lamar Jackson, first ballot. Aaron Rodgers, first ballot. Russell Wilson, probably on the second ballot. You know what I mean? I'd increase it to 5 because Stafford is there too. There's 5 Hall of Fame quarterbacks right now. 5, right? 5. You could say 4 if you take Russell Wilson out there, but I think Russ is still deserving. But there's 4 to 5. Right? So let's finish reading. Roquan Smith, linebacker Roquan Smith, slot cornerback Marlon Humphrey. By the way, that's huge for any Raven fans to know. When Marlon Humphrey was put in the slot corner position, right, and they put our Darius Washington up at safety, free safety, put Kyle Hamilton at safety, played around with it. Brandon Stevens, who is one of the worst corners. If we lose, man, it's gonna involve Brandon Stevens. That's a fact. I'm just gonna say that. But once they put Marlon Humphreys at slot corner almost exclusively, that's when the Ravens defense made a switch, especially past week 10. And they went on a 5-game winning streak. That was not a coincidence, man. And there's no coincidence now that he's first team All Pro. And fullback Patrick Ricard joined Jackson from the Ravens 12-5. You see, this is why Ravens are favored. Again, Ravens are favored because objectively the Ravens are a better football team than the Bills. Objectively speaking, Lamar Jackson had a better season. The only reason there's any controversy right now is because the media has manipulated us into believing that this is even a contest or it's even close. It's not. It's not. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens could lose tonight, which I don't want to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. They could lose tonight. Lamar is still winning the MVP. Lamar is winning the MVP because, again, the people who vote on this award, the MVP, are the same, pretty much the same people who voted on first team All Pro, right? And I'm telling you right now, once you have that selection, that group, they're gonna think the same way. Let me finish reading what I was reading. By the way, we're gonna talk on the back end about the Lions. Y'all get ready for that conversation and how it links. At least how for me, I link it to this Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson game that's gonna happen. The NFC leading lines 15-2. RIP, y'all. RIP. Oh my god, damn. They went out sorry, bro. They went out sorry, bro. They went out so sorry, meaning the lot, man. I don't even want to get into it, bro. Let's talk about it in a little bit. By the way, get in the chat. Who do y'all think is gonna win tonight? You know what I mean? Uh, My thing is, I look at it like this. Y'all already know who I'm cheering for. Y'all already see, you know what I mean? Y'all already see how I'm dressing. Y'all already see how I'm rocking, man. My thing is, for the Ravens to win, it has to be a multi-pronged process, bro. It can't be Lamar. And I guess what? I'm gonna say this right now. It's not gonna be Lamar. I don't care what y'all say, it's not gonna be Lamar. Lamar's not gonna be the reasons the Ravens win tonight, but he could be the reason the Ravens lose tonight. It can be. Because Lamar is so good that he has a lot of Aaron Rodgers in him, right? He has a lot of Peyton Manning in him. When the moment gets tight, when it gets really, really serious, when it gets to those clutch moments, right? They fold. They fold. They fold. And because, this man made a pact with Satan, with the devil. And when I say this man, I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. He just has evil juju magic that helps him in the clutch. I'm telling you what it is. I'm not even exaggerating. This man is a seed of the devil. It is what it is. So the NFC leading Lions, 15-2, had four players selected: wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, right tackle Panay Sewell, safety Kirby Joseph, and punter Jack Fox. They know what's up, said Joseph, who led the NFL with 9 interceptions and also got burnt absolute barbecue chicken by McLaurin yesterday. They know what's up. Joseph said he who led the NFL with 9 interceptions but was snubbed from the Pro Bowl. That was kind of crazy. Barkley, who ran for 2,005 yards in 16 games in his first season with the Eagles, 14-2, and linebacker Zach Braun were Philly's first team selections. Barkley sat out the final regular season game with the Eagles locked into the number 2 seed instead of chasing Eric Dickerson's 40-year-old single season rushing record. Edge rusher Myles Garrett and 49ers linebacker Fred Warner were each chosen for the fourth time. Buccaneers left tackle Tristan Wirfs became the first player selected at both tackle spots. Shout out to him. Before 2016, the All Pro roster, including two tackles, but didn't differentiate between right and left side. Wirfs made it on the right tackle in 2021. He switched positions in 23. It's pretty special. It's something I wanted to do, wanted to accomplish. 14 players are first timers, including Raiders rookie tight end Brock Bowers. He got 27 first place votes to Kittle's 22. Chiefs center Creed Humphreys, left guard Joe Tooney, and left guard Joe Tooney. Broncos right guard Quinn Marinez uh, rounded out the offense. One thing I want to mention also is that the Chiefs, you know what I mean, as much as I hate on them, they have one glaring issue, man. They have one huge issue. The issue that really saves them is obviously the coaching. I've talked about that extensively. But the Chiefs' issue really is their offensive line, man. And if you're looking at the screen, I have I have their offensive line here. They have two great offensive linemen, which is Creed Humphreys and that Joe Tui guy. But the rest of the line is suspect, man. Oftentimes, Patrick Mahomes has to scramble because he's running for his life. He's trying to keep plays alive because he's running for his life. So Patrick Mahomes dumps it off to a lot of his running backs. You know what I mean? He does a lot of dump offs. You know what I mean? He's not really throwing the ball down the field. That's why a lot of the receivers for the Chiefs are not getting big numbers. All right. And guess what that leads to? That leads to a pass rush having some success with him. Right. So when the Bills played the Chiefs, right? Bills versus Chiefs. People said, at least an ongoing narrative, right, was that the Chiefs won because of that crazy run that Josh Allen had near the end. Yes, absolutely, that was true. But the Bills also pressured Patrick Mahomes a lot. They got a lot of sacks on him, man. They got sacks on him, and Mahomes was pressured. Now, if you look at the game, look at the screen. They won 30-21. Again, I said the key to beating the Chiefs is you got to put up 30 points. You have to put up 30 points. And look where a lot of those points came in the fourth quarter. Because the Chiefs, again, I told y'all, they're boa constrictors. Once they see some form of weakness, they're going to constrict. And no diddy. I'm on that speed ish, man. No diddy. But no, again, you have to score 30 points. And I believe they got how many sacks did they get? Sacks allowed. Chiefs got 2 sacks allowed. That offensive line was broken. Mahomes was pressured, and Mahomes had to throw. He threw, I believe he threw like a few picks that game, 2 interceptions. That's how you win, man. And the thing about the Chiefs line is the offensive line has some huge bright spots, namely Creed Humphreys and that Joe Tooney guy. But then after that, bro, there's a fall off, man. Their other offensive linemen are cheeks, butt cheeks. And that's why Mahomes has to cheat and fake slide because he knows his O line cannot hold nothing. Let's continue. Cincinnati Trey Hendrickson, who led the league with 17 and a half sacks, joined Garrett at edge rusher. It's such a privilege and an honor, Hendrickson said. Pretty crazy. Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. Bengals didn't make the playoffs. Joe Burrow led the league in passing yards. Passing touchdowns didn't make the playoffs. Jamar Chase, triple crown winner, didn't make the playoffs. Crazy. Chiefs Chris Jones, like I said. The Pittsburgh's Cameron Hayward are the interior linemen. No problem with that. Chris Jones and Cam Hayward have been pretty much the best D tackles for the past 3 seasons. Crazy. Texans cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., Packers safety Xavier McKinney joined Surtain and Joseph in the secondary. It's a huge honor, Surtain says. That's one of the accolades I definitely had goals for. Stingley, the third overall pick in 2022, chosen right before two-time All-Pro cornerback Sauce Gardner, rebounded from true injury-plagued season and played every game to help Houston win his second NFC South title. By the way, Derek Stingley is better than Sauce Gardner. Sauce has had a horrible season, and Sauce holds corners a lot, receivers a lot. That's something y'all got to watch out for. It's really more about the secondary as a unit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, back to the real. What really matters is Lamar Jackson run. First team. First team at quarterback, right? Second team was Josh Allen for a reason. These NFL media guys, sometimes they get things wrong, but they get a lot of things right. Lamar Jackson is going to win the MVP. But why does that not matter? It's about Mahomes, man. And I hate to say it, but it's really about Mahomes because Mahomes has dominated this era to such a huge degree that like Lamar and Josh Allen are not factors. They're not even in this planet, right? So this man, this spawn of Satan is on this planet. Everybody else is here. Like Lamar is the one who's closest to him, and he's way down. Lamar's not made a Super Bowl, right? Let me tell you somebody who's came as far as Lamar, and guess what? This dude is doing it in his first season, and that leads us to talk about the other game. Talking about Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels, what he did to the Detroit Lions, and when I say what he did, I literally mean what he did because it was him. He was him. The Detroit Lions versus the Washington Commanders game was amazing. It was awesome. It was great. It was great. It was fantastic. 45-31. They scored damn near like it was at some point right before halftime. It was like 31-28 or some crazy stat like that. Or like maybe like 21, whatever it was. Regardless, it was a shootout from start to finish. And the thing is, unfortunately, they had to deal with Jayden Daniels, man. And the way that he played, poised, concentrated, focused in the pocket, relaxed, was absolutely critical. Let me tell you something right now. Jayden Daniels, no matter what happens in the end of the season, he needs to get some MVP votes. I know Saquon's going to get some MVP votes. Obviously, Josh Allen's going to be second, but at number 3 or number 4 over there, we need to have Jayden Daniels get some votes. What Jayden Daniels did to the Lions was absolutely criminal. And the Jared Goof, yes, his name is not Goff anymore. His name is Jared Goof. What he did, in contrast, made Jayden Daniels' game look even so much better. So much better. The simple fact is, Jayden Daniels went 22 for 31, 31 for 22, right? 299 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. Added 51 more yards on the ground on 16 carries. Right now, it wasn't a lot of yards, but guess what? A lot of those were third down scrambles and conversions. Guess who also does that? Guess who also does that? Carson Wentz? No, not Carson Wentz. He's right in the bench. This guy does that. This guy does that. For first down yardage in critical situation. And guess what? Jayden Daniels is a way superior scrambler and runner than Patrick Mahomes. You need to understand that the league and the rules have been so adjusted and changed that Jayden Daniels is what the league fears the most. Jayden Daniels and Lamar Jackson, especially Lamar this season. Especially Lamar Jackson this season. Jayden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean? Josh Allen, individuals who can scramble and make plays with their legs on third and fourth down situations. You know what I mean? Third and fourth down situations. Because what's happening now is that offenses, the best defense now is actually became offense. It's always been that way, but the best defense is offense. Really. That's really what it is. Let me give you a scenario. If the Detroit Lions had scored on multiple drives and didn't have interceptions on interceptions, look, if the Detroit Lions had actually been scoring and scoring, this game would have been like a 55 49 type of game. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. If the Detroit Lions decided, instead of letting Jared Goff stay in the pocket all the time and having goddamn Jameson Williams, for some reason, throw a random interception, this would have been a closer game. The thing about football, man, football is complicated, but it's also very, very simple. Look at the turnovers, man. Interceptions thrown, 4, you lose the game. Fumble lost, 1, you lose the game. Penalties didn't matter that much in this game, even though Jayden Daniels is getting hit a lot. Even though the calls were slightly favoring the Lions, you get sacked twice, you lose the game. You throw again, 4 damn interceptions, you lose the game. You lose the time of possession and you have the ball in Jayden Daniels' hands, you lose the game. That's how it works, y'all. I'm sorry to tell you. That's how football works. Look at the rushing yards. Now, you might think, wow, Lions rushed more. Okay, yes, that's definitely because of Jameer Gibbs. But guess what? It's also when you rush, bruh. It's when you run the ball. Jayden Daniels was making plays on third and fourth down that kept drives alive. And guess what happened at the end of those drives? A touchdown. A touchdown. And if you are not matching the offensive output and your defense is not able to get on the field and count how many people are on the field on time, you lose the game. You lose the game, man. And let me tell you something. This guy's not always right, but when he's right, he's right.
Simple.
I have not thought that.
I don't get the sense you think it's that simple.
I have not thought that Caleb Williams was a lock at number one because I thought Drake May would be the guy. I was wrong in that. Jayden Daniels should be the guy. If I were the Chicago Bears right now, I would take Jayden Daniels out of LSU. That is not a knock on Caleb Williams. That is a plus in Jayden Daniels. I think, number one, when you watch all these guys play, the best thrower, the best guy against man coverage, ball placement-wise, is Jayden Daniels. Number two, when we're talking about explosive play, like guys who have to throw the ball downfield, what does it look like? Jayden Daniels throws the ball best downfield. And then number three, who's got the best pocket piece? When I say piece, it's P-E-A-C-E. All these guys are athletic. It's no longer like this plus. Every one of these guys has that attribute. The patience and the peace within the pocket, he's the best at. Candidly, I think when it comes to what guy had the best games, none of these guys' games compared to Jayden Daniels against Florida. If you just watch that player versus the University of Florida, you would go, that's the best player in college football, and he's going to be the guy that transfers the best into the NFL. Caleb Williams is fantastic. I think Jayden Daniels is better.
You know, I just look back at this. There was a night you and Booger were in the studio, and you were doing a game with Jayden Daniels, and you're doing halftime, and I texted you guys, the two of you, at halftime, and I said, Jayden Daniels as good as I think he is. And you wrote back, Caleb is tremendous, but not a lock to be one. This is
sometime in October.
October.
Yeah.
Again, fair use, fair use. I don't own that content. It clearly belongs to ESPN. Don't play with me. Play with your BITCH like the stream as y'all pop in. The fact remains, your man, Jayden Daniels is a fantastic quarterback. And to even call him a rookie is insane because he is actually indeed a rookie. And the thing is, right? If you saw that game, you're watching that game, Detroit versus the Lions, you kind of saw why Sean McVay intelligently, you see why he got rid of Jared Goff. Jared Goff was not ready for that moment, man. And the real difference between the Commanders and the Lions was the turnover, man. The critical turnovers, right? Literally at the very end of the game, where maybe the Lions could have got one touchdown to at least have some mercy and showed some kind of resolve with like 29 seconds left in the game. Jared Goff is not that guy. He threw a pick. Let's rewind a few plays before. He threw a very costly interception through another drive that they were going to at least make the game look a little bit manageable. I believe this was in the third, right? That fumble, that critical fumble that he had that led to that recovery. All of those things add up, bruh. And Jayden Daniels on the other side, and that's why it looked even worse, is that he was calm, cool, and collected. If you were just blind and didn't know who was playing, you'd think that Jayden Daniels was the vet. and that Jared Goff was the rookie. When people were saying Jared Goff should get some MVP votes, I was dying laughing in my soul because I'm like, bro, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Let's see this video, bro. Let's see this video. Hold on.
To get an extra two is the key to Jayden Daniels' success virtual reality training. Daniels is able to get an extra 250 reps a week because the Commanders invested in Cognize, a German VR company that's revolutionizing football training. Here's how it works. Washington loads in thousands of plays into a VR headset that Daniels puts on, and then he runs through realistic plays in realistic stadiums to train his brain for games without risking injury. So if the Commanders' next opponent is a blitz-heavy defense, they can program in that defensive scheme for Daniels to get reps against. And because it's VR, coaches can actually increase the speed of defenders coming at Jayden, so he's able to read and react faster than needed in real life. Thanks to VR, Jayden said he's able to read defenses 80% faster than he used to, so it's no surprise the same technology is used for military training, Formula One racers, and pilots. Jayden first started using this technology back in 2023 at LSU, and that was the same year he won the Heisman Trophy. With Daniels having a historic rookie season so far, should other NFL teams be investing in VR training?
Absolutely, they should. Absolutely, they should. And think about it, man. This leads to a conversation. Of course, I was making jokes about Patrick Mahomes, but Mahomes and Jayden Daniels are very similar because Patrick Mahomes is the white Jayden Daniels, and Jayden Daniels is the black Patrick Mahomes because they're both so calm under pressure. They're calm under pressure, man. Whenever that pressure comes, they stare it in the face, and instead of, staring in the eyes of Sauron and having fear, like this dude over here. And when I'm saying this dude, audio listeners, I have a picture of Jared Goof, calm as a cucumber, this guy, right? Because he made a pact with the devil, so it makes sense. Look, you know what I mean? It is what it is. That's who he is. But Jayden Daniels, if he made Jayden Daniels is the same way, but I think that he's more aligned with Jesus Christ. It is what it is. He's calm under pressure, man. And whatever tactics that the commanders used in order for him to be so calm, it's working. I'm talking about the VR headset or maybe just his general mentality. Some things are just God given. You know what I mean? Some things develop over time. But what happened was when Jayden was at LSU, right? Jayden was always calm under pressure. You know what I mean? And when Dan Orlovsky was saying that in the clip I showed prior, it pays dividends because when you have a quarterback who actually can be calm in the pocket and can actually make plays without hesitation, right? And find his reads. I was just so impressed at the way that Jayden was finding his reads quick and early. There's a reason this guy's going to win Rookie of the Year and he's going to keep on going further. I got to also put some respect on Dan Quinn. There was a critical fourth down play in the fourth quarter. I think the Commanders were up one score, right? It was like 30, it was like 20, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 24 to 28, something in that range, maybe 31 or something like that. And instead of kicking a field goal, I think there was like they were in the red zone, something like that. Dan Quinn decides, let's go for it on fourth down, and it led to a touchdown. Put them up 2 scores. 2 of them, 2 times. At that point, for a coach to make that decision, by the way, look away, Cowboy fans. This guy should have been y'all coach this year. Cowboy fans, y'all better look away, bro. Y'all better look away. But for a coach to have that much trust in his quarterback, it says a lot. It says a lot. So look back at the title. Lamar versus Allen is not about the MVP. It's about Mahomes and Jayden Daniels again. Because guess what? I'm going to say this right now. In order for Lamar or Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl, because that's what matters right now, they have to pass Jayden Daniels Patrick Mahomes, obviously, but they also have to pass this guy. They have to pass this guy. They have to pass two quarterbacks who are extremely calm under pressure. And I'm going to say something that might be somewhat controversial, but they might have to pass, meaning either Josh Allen or Lamar. They have to pass this guy potentially. And you're going to look on your screen. I'm showing you Matthew Stafford. It's not about Lamar versus Josh Allen because Lamar and Josh Allen are going to face the opposing team's defenses. And the Ravens are going to win because they have a Hall of Fame running back called Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is going to rush for almost 200 yards. That's why the Ravens beat the Bills so bad last time they played in week 4 or 5 or something crazy. They won, the Ravens, I'm saying, because of Derrick Henry. And guess what? The defense for the Ravens has gotten so much better. So guess what? They're going to doesn't this game it matters, but also doesn't matter because these two individuals, Lamar and Josh Allen, have to face off against Patrick Mahomes, who is the most calm under pressure quarterback. Patrick Mahomes not going to throw for 300 yards. Patrick Mahomes might throw for 150 and still win. Patrick Mahomes might throw 2 picks and still win. Because it doesn't matter what happens in the first 3 quarters. All that matters is the fourth. The fourth. That's it. And Mahomes is proving it consistently. This is why this game is not about really Josh Allen and Lamar. It's not even about the MVP because guess what? Lamar's going to get his 3rd MVP. But if he's not able to beat Mahomes, it won't matter. It will not matter because the same narratives will get being cooked up. And if he's not able to show, I'm talking about Lamar now, Jayden Daniels type calm abilities under pressure, he is going to be criticized. He's going to always have that asterisk on his. I'm telling you right now, I have more faith in Jayden Daniels going to the Super Bowl than I do Josh Allen or Lamar. These are facts. These are facts, man. These are facts. And guess what? Jayden Allen has made it to a championship game the same amount of times as Josh Allen and Lamar. Uno. One time. One time. Josh Allen went to the AFC Championship game last year. No, the year before. My mistake. Lamar Jackson went to the AFC Championship last year. What happened? They got cooked by this guy. So that's why my title is what it is. Lamar versus Josh Allen is not about the MVP. And a lot of the media critics, or at least the media guys, the analysts, have this fake, stupid argument and rationale that this no, it doesn't decide the MVP. The MVP was wrapped up literally 2 weeks ago when Lamar went crazy on Christmas. That's it. It was done. It was pretty much done because there was nothing that Josh Allen could have done to improve his chances. It was over. I don't understand why people are still arguing it. You can argue it all you want. It's a fun debate. You know what I mean? It's something that's entertaining. You can pass the time. But the fact remains is whoever wins tonight, they have to face the Chiefs. You have to face the Chiefs. And if you do not have Jayden Daniels type calming ability, you are not going to win. If you do not, another person who has this, and I think that he's probably going to win later today, is Matthew Stafford. Stafford is a great fourth quarter quarterback. And since he's been with the Rams, he's only lost, it sounds crazy because he's only been there for 3 years. He's only lost 1 playoff game. Yes, I'm going to repeat that again. He's lost 1 playoff game. Obviously, the first year he was there with the Rams, they went to the Super Bowl. No playoff game was lost. Last season, I believe they played the Lions. He lost that one. That's his only loss. Last week, he won against the Minnesota Vikings. 1 playoff game lost out of 5. Nuts. Crazy, isn't it? I think, no, 1-5. He's 1-5. 5-1, my mistake. So, why? Why? Because he was clutch in the fourth quarter. Because he was able to make plays. Right? The thing is, Matt Stafford is the only pocket quarterback that's still left, right? But why is he successful? Because a lot of the times the play calling from Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford is not as much of a turnover machine as he used to be back in the day. And when you look at the Bills versus the Ravens, this game is going to happen tonight. It's going to be about the turnover battle. It's going to be, again, about Derrick Henry. It's going to be about things that are not directly affected by Lamar or Josh Allen. Unless one of them does have a lot of turnovers. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a Derrick Henry masterclass. Again, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a Derrick Henry masterclass. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. I'm predicting 42-35. Ravens win. That's my prediction. I put it on wax. I could be very, very wrong. I see it going this way. If it's high scoring, there's a chance it could also be low scoring. And if it's low scoring, my guess is going to be 24-21 Ravens. That's my other guess right there. I'll put it in the chat. Y'all know what it is. Get in the chat. Let me know what y'all guess is. I'm going to peep out of here in a little bit. We're going to talk slightly. Well, my last point, by the way, my last few points about that Detroit Commanders versus Lions game. It's amazing, right? What leadership can do to a football team, right? Leadership. And leadership is top down, obviously, right? The Commanders, for the longest time, were led by one of the worst owners in NFL history. This guy. And if you're looking at the screen, audio only people, this guy is Dan Snyder on your screen. Right? Dan Snyder, if you look up the history, he was one of the youngest owners of an NFL team at like in his mid-30s or early 40s. He was a billionaire at that point. Dan Snyder had owned the team for about close to 30 years. Close to 30 years when they were called the Redskins. The thing about the Redskins is that they had won 3 championships, right? They won 3. They won one in 83, I believe 1985 and 92. This was during the Joe Gibbs, Joe Theismann era, right? They were really a competitive football team. And for about 20, 30 years under the ownership of this guy, they were losers, man. They were absolute losers. And the stories of Dan Snyder as an owner were terrible. Were terrible. You know what I mean? And what he decided to do was he decided to sell the team, right? In 2023. And now the new owner is Josh Harris, right? So in 2023, NFL owners unanimously approved the sale of the Commanders to an ownership group led by private equity investor Josh Harris, shoving Snyder out of the door. So to own an NFL team, you have to have approval by the owners of other NFL teams. So it's like a circle of bosses. Jeffrey Lurie for the Philadelphia Eagles, Steve Bisciotti, one of the best. You already know what time it is. Ravens flock, let's go. Clark Hunt, Jerry Jones, Khan from the Jags, Woody Johnson, Jets, all these guys, Robert Kraft, New England Patriots. They all have to come into agreement to sell a team. Another person who's part of that ownership group, and I think that he actually matters a lot, is another winner. If you're looking at your screen right now, you're going to see Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is part of that Washington Commanders ownership group. Top down, man. It's top down. And what I like also about this new owner for the Commanders, this Josh Harris guy, he's low key. You have to literally Google him, right? Dan Schneider was the type of owner that was always getting in the way. He was too hands on. He was not the type of owner who let the GM cook, the coach cook. He was too close to the fire, bro. And when this ownership group changed in 2023, this led to a massive change, right? It meant that the Commanders were going to have a proven winner as one of the owners. By the way, look how good the Dodgers are doing. Magic is part of that ownership group. Don't even get me started with when the Lakers were at their prime, were at their best. It was behind this guy. You know what I mean? I mean, if dude has a paper cut, stay away. But if you have a franchise, any kind of team, you better get Magic around it because he is synonymous with winning, and winning is a mentality. Now, look, they got rid of who was their previous coach, Ron Rivera. Get rid of Ron Rivera. Draft this guy. Draft this guy, a Heisman winning quarterback who maybe the Chicago Bears should have done that. Draft this guy. Surround him with talented guys. You know what I mean? Hire one of the offensive coordinators who dealt with a lot of dual threat quarterbacks and knows how to manage an offense. Hire this guy as the OC. Top down, y'all. Top down. And I'm not saying that the Detroit Lions haven't been constructed that way. Detroit Lions played amazing, but they had injuries. And also they had Jared Goff. They had Jared Goff. Now look at the other organization that's literally in the same division as the Washington Commanders. Jerry the Crypt Keeper Jones, looking like a goddamn gremlin. You know, this geezer, old as a MFer, who, let me tell you something, man, Mike McCarthy didn't want to stay there, bro. And this is a secret. I think Mike McCarthy, he personally wanted to leave, man. He wanted to part ways. I don't think he was fired. I think that he quit. And I guess what? He did the right decision because this old, decrepit, senile old man has been leading the Dallas Cowboys to mediocrity since the 1990s. It starts at the top, y'all. It starts at the top, family. At the very, very top. Owner all the way down to GM, to coach, to quarterback. And it falls in line like that, right? Why is another team on the other side of your conference flipped everything around? People say one season. I say more so 2 seasons, but because they changed everything from top down. There's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, man. Jerry Jones is a MFing disaster, bro. Shout out to JJ in the chat. Yes, F the Cowgirls. It is what it is. Let me tell you something crazy, man. If you look at the NFC, right? If you look at the NFC, the last the last team that hasn't made it to the NFC championship game is the Dallas Cowboys. So the NFC championship, let me repeat again what I just said. If you guys didn't hear me properly. In the NFC conference, the last team who's ever made it to the NFC championship is the Dallas Cowboys. Or as my boy JJ is saying in the chat, the Cowgirls. And you know what? That's kind of offensive to Cowgirls because Cowgirl is a fantastic sexual position. And I'm mad that we are denigrating Cowgirls. We like Cowgirls on this side. It's top down, y'all. It's top down, bro. So let me tell you something, man. Think about it like this. The last time the Cowgirls were in an NFC championship game, I was a baby. I was a baby. I was 1 years old, bro. I was one. I was one. And apparently we're calling him Jenny Jones. Yes, he is Jenny Jones. You know what I mean? And that's her preferred pronouns. Would the Commanders win tonight? Every NF, by the way, there's a tweet from Adam Scheffner. Uh, with Washington's win tonight, every NFC team other than the Dallas Cowboys now has played in a conference championship game going back to 1996. The Cowboys' last NFC title game appearance was 1995. And by the way, I was in my mother's belly when that happened. Yes, I was born on July 17th in that same year. That is the last time I was in my mom's stomach. That was the last time the Dallas Cowboys appeared in an NFC title game. The Commanders did it yesterday. 24 hours ago, the Commanders have done it. Top down, man. It's from the top to the bottom. And we're going to talk about a team that actually has everything from top to bottom. And I kind of alluded to it earlier. It's the LA Rams, man. The LA Rams look absolutely phenomenal. They're going to be playing at 3 p.m. Eastern. I got them on the upset, man. I got them on the upset. I think the demons that face the Philadelphia Eagles, namely that passing game, are going to peep their ugly head. That defensive line, man. By the way, shout out to Ottawa, shout out to OT. That defensive line, bro, is absolutely crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The LA Rams, and this is a huge if that D line comes and shows up again to what they did, you have a guy like Kobe Turner, you had somebody called Verse, you had Neville Gallimore, shout out to Ottawa, shout out to my city. You know what I mean? You have multiple players on that LA Rams defensive line that are going to get after Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts will have to have a fantastic game. That's the only way this goes. And Stafford has somehow turned into a pumpkin, and I don't think Stafford is going through that no more. I think the Stafford and that Rams offense is really, really good, man. Really, really good. And the reason that they are not higher in terms of their ranking is because they got hurt. They got hurt earlier this year, man. They got hurt earlier this year. And I'm telling you right now, they are coming for that behind, man. They're coming for that. They're going to go crazy, right? So y'all already know what I got as my guess, man. If it's a high scoring game, this is what the Ravens got. If it's a low scoring game, this is what the Ravens got. But let me say this. Let me say this. Eagles, their only hope, or I think their major hope, is Saquon Barkley. And we have to get A.J. Brown to kind of overstand that. Bro, you're not a passing aerial assault team. You're not. Your best player is Saquon, man. This is your best player. If Nick Sirianni and that team is stupid, they'll start passing the ball a lot. If they're smart, they're going to hand the ball off to this man minimum 22 times. And they're going to run their way into an NFC championship game. This man is having an amazing season. This man is the reason that I can see a Ravens versus Eagles Super Bowl. Shout out to my boy JJ in the chat. You know what I mean? The guy is doing reverse hurdles on niggas. And yes, I'm saying niggas, I don't care no more. YouTube, it is what it is. Smash that like button. Support your boy. Saquon Barkley is the reason. But if they are to lose, it's going to be because of that Rams D line. The Rams D line is on some other ish, man. If they can somehow, which would be crazy, slow down Saquon Barkley, I think that's the only saving grace, man. It's only saving grace. Now I'm gonna finish off by saying this. The Eagles, the Eagles defense can get got. The Eagles defense can get got. What am I talking about? Their secondary is great, but the best matchup that I want to see is gonna be Darius Slay, Darius Slay Jr. versus Puka Nakua. I think that's gonna be a fantastic battle, bro. Darius Slay had a pick last week versus Sam Darnold. Darius Slay, I think, is still a very much a top corner, but can he resist and stop Puka Nakua? Puka is him, man. Puka is him. And when you have him right next to Cooper Kupp, by the way, I think Cooper Kupp is going to be a Baltimore Raven next year. Mark my words. Stopping Cooper Kupp is going to be hard, but stopping Nakua is going to be even harder. Let's see what JJ says. We need to improve. We need to improve the O line and defense, CB and safety mainly. I can see that. I can see that for the Eagles. The O line, I think it's fine. I think the Eagles O line is very, very good actually. Maybe in pass protection they might slip up, but you have to have routes and packages for quick plays for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not going to throw the ball more than 15 times. Now, if Jalen Hurts throws the ball 20, 25 times, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because when Jalen Hurts throws the ball extensively, that gives so many chances. The real problem is going to be stopping this guy. Stopping Puka Nakua consistently. That's going to be the big problem. We're looking at, again, a game that's going to be super tight. JJ, get in the chat. Let me know what do you predict the score is going to be. Let me know in the chat what you think the score is going to be. I got the Rams winning on an upset alert, bro. I don't know why, but I see it. The Rams are healthy. That defense I think they got 9 or somewhere like 10 sacks last week versus the Minnesota Vikings, who are a fraud team, like every team in the NFC North. My thing is, I see something in the Eagles, man. I don't see it, bro. I do not see it, man. I don't see it. And I think it's just because they're missing that balance with that offense, man. I don't know. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I'm saying the argument for the Eagles winning again hinges on this guy who I think is playing MVP level football. You know what I mean? And I wish the MVP wasn't such a quarterback award because this man would have been running away with the MVP. You know what I mean? So when you look at the way the Eagles are playing, this team is not a pass. This is a running team. And guess what? Saquon could be able to do something that hasn't been done in a while, man. Let me tell you something, man. If you look at the Denver Broncos back in the 90s, they had this guy, Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis ran John Elway into, I believe it was 2 Super Bowls, man. Fantastic running back. If the Philly fans can chill, if AJ Brown can chill and realize this man could run us into a Super Bowl, then guess what? It's all worth it, man. You know what I mean? But again, this hinges on what Nick Sirianni does. This hinges on stopping one of the best receivers in the game. And I don't care what nobody said. Puka Nakua is one of the best in the game already. Season 2, he is one of the best in the game. Stopping him. Crazy. Let me see what JJ said. Nah, fam, 27-24 Eagles. Barkley is going to go off. Hey, that's a great prediction. That's a great prediction. I'm going to hold you to that, man. I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you during the game. We're going to be chatting during the game, brother. We're going to be talking during the game. Keys to victory again, I say, for the Eagles. Stopping Nakua, obviously. Running Saquon 25 times or more. You know what I mean? 22 minimum. And keeping Jalen Hurts at 15, maybe 16 pass attempts. You do not want Jalen Hurts throwing the ball consistently. You do not. You do not. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keys to winning for the Rams, get this guy the ball. The D-line has to go crazy, right? It is what it is. And obviously, the big game, the big one, I'm going to say very similar things. The Ravens are the hottest team in football, man. The Ravens are the hottest team in football. In order for Josh Allen and the Bills to win, it's very simple. They have to score 35 plus. Let's start off with that. They have to score 35 plus points. Why do they have to score 35 points? Okay, let me show y'all why. I'll show y'all. The Baltimore Ravens. By the way, I held that cup weird, if y'all were watching. The Baltimore Ravens have won their last 5 games 35-10 versus the New York Giants, 34-17 versus the Steelers, 31-2 on Christmas versus the Texans, 35-10 versus the Browns in week 18, 28-14 last week versus the Steelers. They're facing the Bills. The Bills have to score 35 points. That's my estimation. Because the Ravens have been scoring between 31 up to 35 points. Well, that's very possible because the Bills average like 31.9 points, a little more than the Ravens. Yeah, so boom, we got that check mark. No turnovers. Almost every Ravens win has had them getting interceptions, fumble recoveries, and such. Even getting a safety. They got a safety versus the Texans. It's going to be very hard. You know what I mean? Marlon Humphreys has 6 interceptions. 6. Can you stop that? Meaning they got to play a clean football game. On top of that, you have to somehow get James Cook to run the football at a crazy high rate. You get what I'm saying? James Cook has to cook. Oh, that's funny. The run game has to be dominant. Why do I say that? The last time the Ravens lost was versus the Eagles. Why? Why? Saquon Barkley, 23 rushes, 107 yards, 1 touchdown, but Saquon was also in the pass game. 2 catches, 10 yards. The running back has to lead it. So James Cook has to lead the offense, not Josh Allen. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And limit Derrick Henry to very few carries. Now, that's controlled by Todd Monken and the play calling. Again, you know what I mean? This is how you beat the Ravens. You have to make Lamar throw a ton of passes. When Lamar is throwing it to 35 plus attempts, Lamar doesn't win, man. You have to, and everybody says this, you have to make Lamar a passer. Well, Lamar is an elite passer now, but making Lamar have more attempts, that's how the Ravens lose. And keep in mind, Justin Tucker missed a lot of field goals this game, bro. He missed a lot of field goals this game. Justin Tucker started making those field goals. So the other key for the Bills to win is Justin Tucker has to somehow start missing field goals. When Justin Tucker starts missing field goals, the game is wide open. But guess what? After this loss, Justin Tucker has not missed a single field goal. We knocking on wood right quick. You know what I mean? The fact remains. That's what it is. Right? So, the Ravens. What's the key of winning for the Ravens? Lamar Jackson has to run the football 15 times. 15 times. Derrick Henry has to run the football 23 times. Minimum. A total of almost 40 rush attempts. It has to be 40 rush attempts minimum. Lamar has to throw the ball like 10, 12 times. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Because if you are throwing the football, Lamar, you give more chances to the other offense. Again, what did I say earlier in this show, man? The offense has become the defense. By the way, shout out to Vincent in the chat. Ravens versus Bills game is going to be a good one. You're absolutely right, fam. You're absolutely right. Lamar Jackson, despite what everybody thinks, he has to be a running back. Yes, I said it. Lamar has to be a running back. Why? I'll tell you why. Detroit Lions, they won a lot of games. I'll tell you why. Very simple. They won a lot of games because of Jahmyr Gibbs on your screen right now and David Montgomery. Why? Because they were like Sonic and Shadow, right? Thunder and lightning. Very simple. Lamar and Derrick Henry have to literally be just like that. Thunder and lightning. That's what they have to be. Because when these two are running with the football, when they're doing the read options, when they're doing play actions based off the confusion that they put into teams' eyes and ears, they are unstoppable. 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 The only person that can stop them again is themselves. And this is something, again, that I said. Look at the title. Lamar versus Allen is not about the MVP. It's about Mahomes and Jayden Daniels. Why? Because Mahomes, as much as he is a creature of Satan, he doesn't beat himself. He does not beat himself. He does not have turnovers in the fourth quarter. He does not, not convert on third and fourth down. He understands the game situations, and that's why he wins multiple championships. Jayden Daniels. Why is Jayden Daniels in this conversation? Because Jayden Daniels, out of all the games that we've seen this year with him, he does not beat himself. He doesn't. I actually like Josh Allen. Josh Allen sometimes has beat himself with costly turnovers and interceptions and what people call arm punts, where he just launches it all the way to the very, just launches a football like a goddamn like a grenade in a war. You know what I mean? Like just arm punts. Guess what? If he keeps throwing them arm punts, there's gonna be a DB called Marlon Humphreys who has 6 interceptions this season that could pick him off. And he picks that football off. Guess what happens? The game's done. The game's done. The game is over because now you have Lamar and Derrick Henry with the 1-2 punch to end the game. This Ed Reed jersey matters, bro. I'm wearing this Ed Reed jersey for a reason because let me tell you something. People want to say this and that and everything in this third. By the way, like the stream. I see a lot of y'all in the chat. Well, a lot of y'all around. Y'all better like the stream, man. Support your boy. I'm wearing this Ed Reed jersey for a simple fact. Ed Reed, the greatest safety of all time, was clutch in the playoffs, man. Clutch in the playoffs. And this is going to be a defensive battle because these teams are so strong offensively, man. Ed Reed is a Hall of Famer because what Ed Reed would do in the playoffs was get picks. Ed Reed had 39 solo tackles, 7 assists, 1 fumble recoveries, and 9 interceptions in 15 playoff games in his career. 9. You make your name in the postseason, man. You don't make your name in the regular season. Again, I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I respect him because he wins in the postseason. Who gives a damn about the MVP? Okay, Josh Allen can get that. Who gives a damn if he's out of the contention for the Super Bowl? It does not matter. Mahomes, the past 3 seasons, has not been relevant in the MVP conversation. What does it matter? He's about to three-peat. There's something greater than an MVP, and that's a Lombardi. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's what it is. I'm going to be here for the next 2 minutes. Let me know y'all predictions in the chat for this game, the Ravens versus Bills. Again, I'm telling y'all right now, this game is going to be an absolute classic. I already gave y'all my prediction. Get in the chat. I'm about to dip in like 2 minutes. Let me know y'all thoughts, y'all opinions. Again, when it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to playoff football, when it comes to winning a championships, it's about making plays in the clutch. In the clutch. I love Lamar. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, deep in my soul. But for them to beat the Bills, it can't be on Lamar. It's not going to be on Lamar. It has to be on the number 22 King Henry. They got Henry from the Tennessee Titans because Derrick Henry single-handedly defeated the Ravens in 2019, I believe, all on his back. Got him to an AFC championship, the Tennessee Titans. A poo-poo trash franchise. He got him there. And Derrick Henry is the reason they're going to win this game. Get in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. I'm predicting if it's low score, it's going to be 24-21, 42-35 if it is high scoring. It's not about Lamar and Josh Allen, bro. It's not about Lamar and Josh Allen. It's about Jayden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes because playing clutch is what these individuals have been doing consistently, calmly. And they do what they have to do to make their teams win. And guess what? It's all about winning, bruh. It's not about putting up the most stats. It's not about the MVP. It's not about the awards. It's about winning the game. Shout out to JJ in the chat. Let's see what he thinks. Ravens win. Salute, bro. 31-14. That's a possibility. It could be a blowout. Ravens defense is way more stout, and they have way more reliable resources on offense. Great point. You know what I mean? I didn't even talk about, you know what I mean, Isaiah Likely. I didn't even talk about Mark Andrews. I didn't even talk about Rashad Bateman. I didn't even talk about all these individual, Justice Hill, who make the Ravens offense go. I didn't even talk about them. You know what I mean? But we're going to hope, we're going to have our fingers crossed. Again, Bills Mafia, shout out to the Bills. I don't have a single problem with y'all. I like talking some smack and having fun. You know what I mean? But the Bills, I think they're going to be overmatched. They're going to be overmatched. And guess what? The Bills could win, but it's going to be a lot of mistakes by the Ravens. That's how the window opens. That's how the window opens. You know what I mean? By the way, I appreciate y'all for showing love, supporting your boy, man. The Sunday morning stream, like the stream as I go out. Y'all can watch the replay, support your boy. Ravens flock in the building. Shout out to JJ in the chat, Fly Eagles Fly. Let's see what happens tonight. Shout out to Vince in the chat as well. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Listen to me on all podcasting platforms, man. Smash that like button, man. This is episode 99. Crazy, y'all. We made it. We made it. Appreciate y'all more than you know. It's been Big J TV. Listen to this. I could be right. I could be wrong as an MF. It is what it is. I rock with y'all. Y'all rock with me. I'm out, though. One.